what we're going to do from this point forward is go to more of the informational briefings as you perhaps saw from the agenda. And I'm not going to back up and introduce each one of these from here forward. I'm just going to basically run down who we have and who they represent, and then as one presentation finishes, just have the next one stand up. But we're going to start with our office's government purchase card program. We actually had my AOPC, don't ask me to identify what that acronym stands for, but she's basically responsible for administering and overseeing the card system at Dugway. That is a member requirement. I'm going to have Paul stand up and talk for a few minutes on Stacy's slides that she presented. If you have really difficult questions, we may not be able to answer them, but we can certainly get answers for you when we get to that point. After Paul's completed, we had the pleasure of listening to Mr. Chuck Spence, the director of PTAC. Many of you are familiar with Chuck. He's done great work with you and throughout the state. I look forward to hearing what he has to say. After Chuck is completed, we will turn the time over to Brent Owens. He's the Procurement Center rep for SBA. He has a few slides for us, some information that I think will be valuable for you as well. And from there, we'll turn the time over to Holly and Sarah. They've been in the back of the room the whole time. They're with FedBid. We've talked FedBid, how do you get into FedBid, what does FedBid do? I think you're going to see some information that's going to be helpful. If you're not familiar with FedBid, if you're not in it, you need to be in there because there's a lot of work that goes that direction. And then last but not least, we're going to turn the time over to Bruce Black with the GSA, and he's got some information for us as well. So we're going to go to that point. I'm going to turn the time over to Paul to talk about our government purchase card program.
All right, government credit cards. I was listening to Jim and Angela talk a minute ago about us having, managing about 20 to 25 government purchase card accounts that are throughout Dugway. The government purchase card is just like a Visa, and those government purchase cards can buy certain things on those credit cards. Let's go to a slide here. So, and I don't know how many myths I'll dispel today about how the government purchase card works and what the folks can buy. But what I wanted to hit is the most important things that I hope will stick with you. Let's get right into it and talk about the government purchase cards and their use under the micro purchase threshold. Now the micro purchase threshold is listed up there as $3,500 for supply items, $2,500 for services, and $2,000 for construction. The magic about the micro purchase threshold is if it's under those amounts, we don't need to advertise it, we don't need to get competition. We're just supposed to spread the business around a little bit and work through suggested sources to start with. Question?
Monthly, yearly, per purchase?
That's per purchase. And if it's, for example, if it's a service, you can't charge the card twice for $2,500 each. That's a no-no. Okay, so we talked about the micro purchase threshold. So it gets pretty easy to buy things. And you'll see the below sources are considered mandatory venues for all purchases. And then you'll see GSA Advantage right on the top there. FAR Part 8 talks about mandatory sources and where we're supposed to start looking. If that government purchase card holder is looking for an item and it's not in the depot systems or in their inventory of their warehouse down the road, then they got to go outside and look for it somewhere. And typically, what they'll look for right off the bat, or the place they look, is GSA Advantage. Everybody can go to GSA Advantage, I think, and shop and look and see what's posted on there. And the nice thing about that is the prices are on there too. So that's a good place for market research for those folks, and also a place to buy products. There are exceptions. You'll see other things, DOD e-mall. It's also an online site for shopping. Federal Parts and Industries were required to look there for furniture. Ability One for the disabled. And at Dugway, we don't really have a lot of requirements for goods or services through FBI or Ability One. But we do our market research and see if we can. Reasons why you might not go through GSA may not be provided. And so there's other companies that might provide industrial equipment, maybe like a Granger or something like that. Folks can buy from. But reasons you may not buy through the government sources like GSA Advantages, you don't have enough time to get that stuff shipped because it's not readily available, it's not in stock, or it may include installation. Maybe the company on GSA can't provide the quantity that you need, or a cost issue. So then one of those exceptions pop up, then the card holder can go open market to purchase that. The purchase under the simplified acquisition threshold, which is actually $150,000. So why that? I'm not sure that was for 25.
That's our 25K card.
Okay, so this is the 25K card. All right, Stacy probably would have known that if she was here and got to talk to us. At Dugway, it's been a recent development where we've got some 25K card holders at Dugway. So their threshold for supplies becomes 25,000. It's the same for services and construction, but they can buy up to 25,000. However, the caveat there is they have to use existing contract schedules like GSA, then they have to get 3 quotes. So when folks hear that that there's a 25K card, they think they can buy everything as long as it's under 25K, but it's that's not the case.
Hey, Paul, go back, because that, if you look at the second bullet, those 25K cards are for supplies only. The thresholds for service and construction remain where they are on the lower value cards. So
they don't do any of that on those 25K cards. I guess why would they?
Yeah, it's supplies only.
Okay. And then if it's over the micro purchase threshold or not able to be purchased on a 25K card, then it comes to our office. And so if I get a supply in my office that's close to, if it's $3,600, the first thing I do is go out, do a little bit of market research, find the product, call the person up and say, hey, buy this on your card. We don't need to practice in our office for doing more contracts. So we try to encourage their use when possible. And the credit card holders are encouraged to spread the business out. So if you're buying industrial supplies or cleaning products or something, tools, you shouldn't be going to the same company every time. And so if that's the case, we would want to know. And the person that was going to give this briefing, Stacy Wild, in our office, she keeps a pretty close eye on what we buy, the dollar amounts, and she also gets notified if there's a split purchase, a potential split purchase where somebody's splitting their order to keep it under the threshold. Too many of one company on there, so we try to spread that out. I talked about GSA Advantage a little bit a second ago. There's the link. It's pretty easy to find, or you can Google GSA Advantage. There's a contractor's link. That you can find information on. First one there, getting a GSA contract, and I'll encourage you to talk with Bruce in the back there, waiting for his chance. There's a person that has offered to be a direct contact to help you if you're interested in getting a GSA schedule for your company. Okay, so for those who don't know, a GSA contract is actually a GSA schedule where you offer your products and also services, where you have a pre-priced contract schedule through GSA that we can award against. And GSA also works with small business to help meet small business goals. And once again, Bruce is back there for GSA questions. Okay, DODE Mall is another it's another location online that we can buy commercial off-the-shelf items. They're pre-priced. If somebody with a credit card goes to GSA E-Mall and sees the price online, they can just call them up, there's the price, and they can buy it. It's pretty fast. Once in a while, our office will use DOD E-Mall, and if there's two providers on there, they already have their prices quoted, we can just go with the lower price, and we don't have to compete it. So we also use that DOD E-Mall. More information is available at that site. And if you have any more credit card questions, track me down.
How do vendors determine who the credit card holders are?
The requirement. So you want to know who the credit card holders are, so you can contact them. And so
that's the purpose of the vendor fair that we talked about earlier that we're going to do in March, is to introduce our card holders. Again, as Angela had mentioned in her presentation, by regulation, you technically can't go door to door soliciting to the divisions or branches. In this case, it's something that we're sponsoring, and we're going to vet information out. The other thing we're also going to do, as I said, increase the list, make sure that your information, contact information is relevant and accurate, and make sure that we get that to our card holders as well. So again, what we're trying to do, I'm not trying to buffer them, but at the same time, their needs are sometimes not consistent, and so I don't think they need to have a call every so often from somebody. But we're trying to offer those opportunities and those venues where we can share that information and get you access to them. So stay tuned for that opportunity in March.
I'm going to turn it over to Chuck Spence.
Okay, can everyone hear me? We're good? First of all, let me do a shout out and a great big thank you to Angela Arwood, to Jim, and to Paul. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the small business office out of Dugway, and Angela Arwood, who came from Colorado Springs. I noticed one thing, that she is a stickler for detail. Not only did she call Jim and PTAC to get things set up, but here about 2 weeks ago, she made a special phone call to me just to understand how the Utah PTAC operates, what she intends to do, and how we can work collaboratively. So I am more than impressed with all of you. So Jim and Paul and Angela, thank you. Round of applause. Well, PTAC has been mentioned frequently in this presentation by the Dugway, the good folks at Dugway. And we want you to know, by the way, by show of hands, how many of you are not a client of PTAC? Raise your hands. We've got a few, okay, half a dozen or so. Well, this is a great opportunity. Let me just take a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about what PTAC is. It's an acronym we go by because the title is just too darn long. It stands for the Utah Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And PTAC, what PTAC does is just one thing: government contracting. at the DoD level, federal, state, and local level, including universities and school districts. We do government contracting. We want to be your official source for government contracts. Now, we claim that we're experts at government contracting, and as I think these folks here on the front row who've spent all their career in government contracting, they would be the first to admit in a humble way they don't have all the answers. I don't think it's possible to have all the answers when it comes to FAR regs and source facade and all the it's big. But we usually can, in a matter of a short time, find the answers for you. So we want to help you. We are a program that's free of charge. We're a federal program. And we have a state match, and our match is through the Governor's Office of Economic Development. So I want to tell you a little, just a couple of minutes about the services that we provide. You heard a lot today about FedBizOps. We're going to put our solicitations out on FedBizOps and source facade. And if there's going to be any set-asides, it's going to be on FBO, Federal Business Opportunities, right? So how are you going, and you've all searched FBO, I assume, or familiar with FBO. You could literally spend the entire day, 8 hours a day, going through FedBizOps. There are, what, tens of thousands of solicitations out there? Well, that's where PTAC is able to help you. We become a client, come see us, call us. I'll introduce my staff here in just a minute. Mike, could you do me a favor? I think some of my staff members are outside. Could you go bring them in? When you come in, we're going to make you a PTAC client. We're going to build a client profile of you, but more importantly, we're going to build a search profile. We're going to find out what your capabilities are, what your NAIC codes are, what your keywords are that identify what it is that you do. And then on a daily basis, it goes out and searches FBO and dozens of other federal, state, and local databases to find bids that match your profile. And then it's just emailed to you on a daily basis. So it's that easy, and it's free of charge. Well, there's a charge, but we absorb it for you. One other incredible thing, and I'll get to the PTAC team here in just a minute. One other great service that we provide is that not only do you get those daily bids, but members of our PTAC team in the last 3 or 4 months are now finding, and they search it, and when they see specific solicitations out there that they think you might be interested in, we're starting to email those to you. How many have seen those, by the way? A few of you? Yeah, looks like the majority. So that's a great service. So if you're not seeing them, or if you overlook them in your bid match that PTAC provides, the PTAC team is trying to find and identify those ones and bring them to your attention. So that's how you're going to find them. When Jim mentioned watch FBO, that's how you're going to find this through that bid match service. Now the PTAC team also provides GSA opportunities, and let me just say, as I say to all my clients, and I think everyone would agree, getting a GSA schedule is a pain in the rear. Okay.
Reach.
Yeah, we got a validation right over here. It's not rocket science, but it's labor intensive, and there's a lot involved. So again, these services are free of charge. We have some specialists who are GSA experts that will take you by the hand and help you along that process to getting that GSA schedule. But once you get it, there are a lot of opportunities and options for you through that GSA schedule. So that's another service that PTAC provides. Okay, so you found a solicitation, you see something that catches your eye, it seems to be a good fit. But many of you, we realize you're small businesses, you wear a lot of different hats, and you may not be the government, contracting experts on a 115-page solicitation. And they're throwing terms out there like, FAR regulations and post-contract administration, and what does all that mean? Well, we want you to come to PTAC. We have a lot of resources. The PTAC team will help you with that RFP. We'll help you write it. We won't write it for you, but we'll coach you, we'll review it, we'll provide, step by step by step, not just RFPs, RFQs, how to respond to a source's sought. We will help you. That's what our job is. One other thing, with regards to that bid match, it's important that if you haven't updated your profile through your PTAC regional manager in a while, it's probably a good thing, because if you don't have those NAICS codes, if you don't have those keywords, because every solicitation is driven by a NAICS code. So please update your profile, contact your PTAC regional manager and update that, because your search is only as good as your profile. So very important to do that. I want to just take a minute and introduce some of our staff. One is out of town today, the other just left for a very important meeting. But I want to introduce the PTAC team to you. On the PTAC side, the public side, the GoEd side, we've got Johnny Wilkinson. Johnny, raise your hand. Johnny is our PTAC regional manager that covers everything sort of south from about Murray, Utah, to the point of the mountain, as well as West Valley City and Tooele County. Johnny's office is right here in this Sandy Center, so if you're in that area, please see Mr. Johnny Wilkinson. Covering Utah County and all places in terms of rural, too many to mention, is Mr. Steve Lyons. Steve, raise your hand. Steve offices out of Orem, Utah, just to kind of cross the street from UVU. So if you're from Utah County in that area, including, is it Wasatch that you cover as well, Steve?
Wasatch, UF, Dillard, Sandy, Uinta, Central Utah.
Yeah. See Mr. Steve Lyon. I'm downtown Salt Lake. Keith Christensen is my deputy director, just hired in July, but he's out of town today. But if you are in the central Salt Lake area, come see me or Keith. Kirsten Anderson is our administrative assistant, and she keeps us all of us organized and is responsible for the registrations and making things happen. So Kirsten, thank you. I'm pleased to tell you that we had an RFP out just recently. It was a long, somewhat of an exhaustive process, longer than I thought, about 6 months. We now have a contract with a member of our PTAC team, and that's Logistics Specialties, Inc. Mike and Doug, will raise your hand for a minute. And so we comprise the PTAC team, and they're sort of on the private sector side of the government contracting. So we have a partnership together, and we provide all kinds of government contracting resources. Mike, do you want to introduce your staff?
Okay, yeah, so Doug is our program manager. Pam Patterson, where's Pam? Okay, Pam is one of our senior consultants. Laurie Pless, admin assistant, helping put all these events together for you. And see, I think Kylie must be outside. Miss anybody?
Forrest, that's recording.
Where's Forrest? Okay, Forrest in the back.
Thank you. One of the contracting items in that RFP was that PTAC has asked our partner, LSI, to host many of these outreach events. So they're doing it on behest of PTAC. We will do some. We'll take the lead on some. In fact, Doug and I just met yesterday to map out what we're going to do in 2017 in terms of outreach events. I think, Doug, I think you mentioned 5 or 6 or 7 will be done by LSI in terms of they'll take the lead, and then PTAC, our office, will take the lead on a few others. So that's one thing you can look forward to. And in terms of 2017, let me just give you a little bit of a preview of what we have in store for you. I'll save November for just a minute. Let's move into the new year. We have a number of large defense prime contractors. I'm not going to mention them, just yet. We'll keep you in suspense. But there are probably, Doug, I'm thinking 4 or 5 that have committed orally that they would do that. We'll need to work out the logistics in terms of when and where. Not only that, the University of Utah has expressed interest in doing how to do business with the U, and we may combine other colleges and universities in that one. We'll see how that shakes out. So we have a number of federal and state and large business prime contractors in store for you, in addition to a few others that I haven't mentioned yet that are in the works. Some new services that are going to be brand new to PTAC clients in 2017 that heretofore have never been offered. One of them will be teaming arrangements and teaming agreements. One of the new things that we want to maybe put a little bit of an emphasis on for you, our PTAC clients, you, our customers, is how can we take what you do and team you either with another small business, whether that be a teaming agreement, a joint venture, or other. We want to do that, or we might look at teaming you maybe with a large business, maybe a large defense prime contractor, to find more opportunities for you as a sub. So we're going to be looking at that this year. Also new, starting in January, it was mentioned a little bit, I think, earlier, DIBS, the Defense Internet Bid Board System. DLA runs DIBS, and DLA has to do with everything with the warfighter. And we are talking, we're talking machine parts, to food, to tires, to clothing, everything that the warfighter needs typically is on DIBS. And it's a little bit involved. It's not as easy to maybe, in my opinion, to maneuver, say, as FedBizOps. And that's why we are, so I got a couple of heads nodding, yeah, they're in agreement. So we realized that might be a need for you, our PTAC customers. So on a quarterly basis, through a webinar, probably for about an hour and a half, starting in January, and then every 3 months, we will provide a DIBS webinar training for you. And again, we'll work out the logistics, we'll communicate when it's going to be, we'll market it, and then all you have to do is call in, we'll give you the code number, we'll get it all set up, and then you can find out how to place bid opportunities on DIBS, how to respond to bid opportunities, how to find drawings on DIBS, so that we can hopefully get you some contracts there. They're really not new, but what will be continued is, as I mentioned, that GSA assistance as you pursue GSA schedules. I've mentioned the outreach events. We're going to end the year with a bang. We thought Dugway was going to end it, but we're going to add one more outreach event on November 15th. So please put this one in your calendar. It's going to be at the Governor's Office of Economic Development at the City Creek Plaza. And Hill Air Force Base is going to be our host there, starting about 8:30 with registration. Mary Ann Flinders, who's a small business specialist, will be here to tell you, our PTAC clients, how to do business with Hill and how to market to Hill. And then we'll end the year in terms of our outreach events. So I think I have covered everything that I've mentioned. Oh, just one last thing that Jim Keach mentioned on one of his slides. A couple of weeks ago, he said, Chuck, we've got an idea. We want to do some more outreach. And we have an idea for a vendor fair. And he's going to work through our office, the PTAC team, in terms of, I said, Jim, how many companies do you want us to bring out there? 4 or 5? He said, no, Chuck, 12 or 20 or 30. So this is a great opportunity because you saw the forecasted opportunities. We're going to probably, I assume, drill down into more detail. He'll have the subject matter experts there for you. So we will work out the logistics in terms of getting who's interested. He'll tell me what types of industries that we should be inviting. We'll get the transportation set up, and in information so you get through security. So there's a lot of things to look forward to if you're a PTAC client. If you're not, please come see someone from the PTAC team, whether that be my staff, or Doug or Mike's staff. Come see us. We want to get you into our system. Again, our services are free. So we'll look forward to seeing y'all in 2017. Thank you.
All right, is this mic working okay? Can you hear me in the back? Okay, great. My name is Brent Owens. I work for the Small Business Administration, okay? I see a lot of familiar faces out there. Some of you have been to my presentations before, right? If you've been to my presentation before, will you raise your hand? Okay, a few of you. I always like to start out with a quote from the great late John Wayne. Remember the quote? Anybody remember the quote? You know? Okay, this is great. He was not only a great actor, cowboy, but he was also a great philosopher. He said, "Life is tough. It's tougher if you're stupid." Hopefully after your being here today, life will be easier for all of you. Okay, because you've learned so much, and hopefully I won't disappoint.
Grant?
Yes.
That's a great quote, but I've always liked the one, "Touch that gun and I'll kill you."
All right. I'm what's called a procurement center representative, and I would introduce my staff. It's right here. I'm a one-man shop. I cover all federal agencies in the state of Utah and in Wyoming, and soon to be Montana, they tell me, which is fine with me because I like to go travel around and meet all the agencies I deal with, and I always take my fly rod with me. And I understand there's some good fishing in Montana. So anyway, my role is to be an advocate and a resource for small business. And I do that by working closely with the federal agencies, their contracting staff, and making sure they're adhering to all the small business rules and regulations that are out there, and there's a lot of them. Okay? I do that by being a resource to you. If you have questions about the process or you have complaints about the process, you can come to me for that as well. But my role is to make sure the small business rules and regulations at the federal agencies that I cover are being adhered to. Okay? And I'm going to do some basics today. Here's some of the things I'm going to cover. Some of these have already been hit pretty good today, and so I'll just fly through those. The first one, play or not to play. What the SBA, what are we all about? What do we do? How do we assist in prime contracting? How do we assist you in subcontracting? And then some of the programs that we have time. Okay. Sometimes I have a contractor who come into my office and say that they've never done federal government contracting before and they want to get started. My first question to them is always, are you sure? You know, are you sure you want to do this? Because if you do, it's a journey. And I usually refer him to Chuck, let him take it from there, get started with the basics. But what you want to find out for sure is do I really want to play in this market? Does the government really buy what I'm selling? And the answer is probably yes, but which agency is it that buys what I'm selling? Because the government spends billions and billions of dollars, and a lot of those dollars go to small businesses. But not every agency is going to be a customer for you. We've had people come, my office, by the way, is located at Hill Air Force Base, only because Hill Air Force Base is the biggest spender of federal dollars in the state of Utah. So I like to be close to my biggest customer. But we'll have contractors come in all the time and try to pitch, hey, I've got the best banana bread in the world, and how can I get that? I'll say, well, Air Force Base isn't buying banana bread. They're buying weapon systems. So you need to find out who's buying what you're selling. And you can do that by looking at the FedBiz Ops. They not only advertise requirements, they also post rewards. a thing called the FPDS, Federal Procurement Data System. This is a data system that logs all federal government contract awards by NAICS code and by agency. So if you know what your NAICS code is, what your industry sector is, you can go into the FPDS system, and it's open to anybody. It's not a government-only website, and start looking through there to find out, okay, who's buying the NAICS code that I sell? Okay, that's really an important way to do it. There's also private companies, another one called govwins.com. There's usaspending.gov. These are databases that actually take information from that FPDS system and make it more user-friendly. And the district office, Suzanne, stand up. She's with the SBA district office, federal building, and Dennis over here. They actually do training on these things, on the USA government's one, or spending, at a free charge. I think they have a monthly seminar on how to teach you how to navigate through there to see who's buying what you're selling. Take advantage of those. And then, like Angela, who's here from Dugway, there's James Dean at Hill Air Force Base. The chiefs of the small business offices for each agency are good contacts. And they're always welcome to listen to you and see what your capabilities are and try to get you out to the right customers at their base, or let you know if they don't buy what you're selling. So don't waste your time. Okay. Just some old general things you got to be aware of. If you're going to jump into government contracting, there's a lot of different things to deal with. Just consider all of those: the rules, the regulations, the red tape, the trade-offs. It's there. It really is there. Just a little bit about the organization I work for, the SBA Small Business Administration. We're a small organization, federal-wide, only a couple thousand employees, I think, but we have a lot of power because we oversee all the small business programs for all federal agencies. Our goal is, of course, to aid, counsel, and assist small businesses, which will in turn help strengthen the economy. That's the whole idea. Help Americans build businesses and so on. We have district offices. The district office is in the federal building, downtown Salt Lake. And they have government contracting offices. That's my office, the one at Hill Air Force Base. We provide technical assistance, financial assistance through guaranteeing loans, disaster recovery assistance, and then the one that I cover, is government contracting assistance. Okay, everything that we do is based on the law. When you're dealing with federal contracting, there's all kinds of laws. There's the Competition and Contracting Act, there's the Service Contract Act, all these different labor law acts. We also have what's called the Small Business Act, passed in the 1950s. And its whole purpose is to help ensure that small businesses receive their fair share of the government contract dollars that are awarded. Okay. This is the policy. This is the current national policy to provide maximum practical opportunities in its acquisitions to small businesses at the prime contract level and at the subcontract level. I'll get into that in a minute. Okay, how does SBA do that? How do we provide this assistance? Well, we do it about 4 or 5 different ways. I'm going to cover these ones. We help establish government-wide small business goals at each agency. We have what we call small business set-asides. And we deal in certificate of competencies, making sure your rights are protected when it comes to your evaluation of your proposals. And then we get involved when there's fraud inside. Companies are claimed to be small businesses that aren't. These are the federal-wide contracting goals for small business, federal-wide. Okay, 23% to small business, and you can see the subcategories up there. That's federal government-wide, and we've met those goals for the prime contractor the last 2 years, which is pretty darn good. How are the goals established? They're based on your revenue, the revenues, how many dollars they spend in each category. They propose the goals. Each agency will propose their goals to the SBA each year. There's a negotiation that goes on, and then SBA will help establish those goals. And then those goals are monitored. They're not just thrown out there and say, okay, those are nice goals, work on them. No. SBA monitors those. The agency small business offices monitor those goals. And there's a lot of importance in whether or not they meet those goals or not, and consequences if they aren't. To kind of give you an idea of some of the goals that are out there, Dugway's goal for small business last year was 60% of their awards, dollars to be awarded to small business. And I believe, Jim, you just missed it by about a fraction. So that's pretty darn good. Compare that to Hill Air Force Base, only 23%. Of course, now Hill's got several different departments, and they each have their own goals. This is just one of them. Another one is the Nuclear Warfare Center up located at Hill. Their goal is 2%. What's with that? How many small businesses are involved in nuclear warfare? Okay, so you can see the differences is based on what they buy. So we try to be realistic about the goals, make them stretch, but don't make them so they're not attainable either. So it's based on what each agency procures. Okay, one of the big things that the Small Business Act provides for is an opportunity for small businesses to compete on federal contracts without having to deal with the competition of a large business. We call these small business set-asides. And there's 5 different types. You have a general small business set-aside where all small businesses can play. Or then you have the subcategories, like for example, where only hub zones companies can play in the competition. Or an 8A, might be an 8A competition when companies are 8A, or service-disabled vets, or women-owned small businesses. Only those types of companies can play in the competition. So you can see where that's a big advantage when it comes to your ability to win an award. How do we decide on when we do those set-asides, when we don't? Well, there's something we call the rule of 2. And the rule of 2 basically says, well, first of all, anything under the $150,000 threshold, which is the simplified acquisition threshold, is automatically set aside for small business competition only, unless there are exceptions, which are always quite often are. But that's the general rule. If it's over $150,000 procurement, then there's the rule. Shall be set aside when there is a reasonable, and that's a key word, a reasonable expectation that 2 or more responsible, not a key word, small businesses can meet your requirement at a fair price. Okay? So what does reasonable mean? Slam dunk, absolutely positive, no doubt about it? No. Reasonable means what it means. You know, there's a good chance, reasonable opportunity that there's 2 or more small businesses who meet that. So the threshold is not that high for a set-aside. Responsible, there's a definition in the FAR of what's a responsible contractor. You must have financial resources or the ability to obtain them before they have to start the contract. That's a key one. They must be able to comply with the delivery schedule. They must have satisfactory past performance. They must have integrity. How do you measure integrity in a potential contractor? That's always tough. But there are certain things we know for sure would indicate that they don't have integrity. One is they're debarred or suspended, or maybe they're in a lawsuit that they lost or something like that. You must have the technical skills, the necessary equipment, or again, the ability to obtain those. And then the last bullet, they must be able to comply with the limitations on subcontracting. In other words, they have to do a certain percentage of the work with their own, they have to do a certain percentage of contract value. Otherwise, what's the purpose in having a set-aside if you're just going to have a small business subcontract out the whole thing to a large business? It kind of defeats the purpose. Okay. So we talked a little bit about this earlier. Here's the new rules on limitations on subcontracting. They haven't yet been implemented into the FAR, but hopefully will be this year. If it's services or supplies, 50% of that contract value must be paid to the prime contractor. Okay. If it's general construction, it's 15%, specialty trade construction, 25%. Now that contract value excludes the material costs. So if you're a construction contractor and you're worried about, well, my contract value is heavily weighted in the area of material costs, that's excluded from the equation. Also excluded from the equation is anything you subcontract out to another small business of a similarly typed entity. So that's a pretty good thing you can have going for you. But you have to meet those requirements in order to be considered responsible as part of that criteria of responsibility. Okay. You've got these different types of set-asides. The question always comes up, how does the government decide what set-aside they're going to use? I mean, you've got all these different categories. Is there an order of precedence? Anybody have an idea? Anybody want to guess? Which one's king? Which one has priority over all the others? What was that? Now, the answer is none. They all have parity. Okay?